Let's call the meeting to order. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Happy New Year. All right. We don't need to introduce ourselves, let's just us, or should we?
That is up to you.
Why don't we go ahead and do it just for the record? Yeah, Tom, you want to go and start?
A member, Tom O'Brien.
I'm Deanna Holocaust, Vice Chair.
Finn Coleman, member.
Spencer Pollitt, give your vote first.
Keisha, sure.
Gary Bryant, member TSC.
Jenny Driscoll, member.
Brianna.
Brianna Dada, Planning Liaison. Morning, everyone.
All right. All right. Did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes?
I'd like to move, we approve the minutes of the December 2025 minutes with the following revisions. I misspelled Spencer's last name, which should be P-O-L-A-C-K. And I also put down the wrong date that we were going to be getting together. I said January 12th. So apologize for those, but with those corrections, I would move we approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Looks like we don't have any citizen input today. Old business, we have the truck routes not being clearly marked. Discussion we want to have on that.
They don't have the new display signs up yet. That's not all as far as truck routes go. That's, they're out there on that legal to go across the bridge as long as they stay there to haul in to their destination.
I know we had talked about doing a little field trip, going back in my memory, we talked about going over by the police station where there's that road that goes down.
Yeah.
I know I haven't made it over there yet. I think we probably either can individually go or maybe just take a drive over there. Do you all know where I'm talking about?
Yeah, call it.
Into that neighborhood with the
Just right
roundabout.
there. Darcy.
Darcy Estates. So if we all can get a chance to maybe go over there and look, it sounds like trucks are going down the hill.
At a rapid pace.
And then it's a roundabout, so they have to back out of there.
Oh,
So are they on the road where the police station is?
Yes.
Okay, not the neighborhood that really goes down the next one.
Correct, that was my understanding, it's not your understanding too. They were coming down at that one, just on the road to the police station towards the neighborhood.
I don't feel like that road goes
I
down.
thought that ended there.
yeah.
No, it goes,
It ends-
there's some townhouses that are right there, and there's the road that goes.
Let's go to the video.
Yeah, let's pull it up. So be all right.
I think that was where they were talking about.
You talked about the site, the curbs and the basketball courts and things that were legitimate.
So this is Third Avenue that goes towards the police station and the industrial park, and then you've got Second Avenue at Cedar has a four-way stop that then goes down the hill to Darcy
Okay,
Estates. Is that where you're?
Well, I'm thinking from Third going down Maple, maybe? I'm wondering if that's where it
It'd
was?
be Aspen, you were thinking.
Must be us.
Oh, Aspen, okay.
Like they
My
wanna
glasses
turn
on,
around
too.
and they think that that's a way out.
Yes, I'm wondering, I'm wondering if that's it. So maybe we just do that loop and kind of look around there.
I'm sorry I'm late to the party. What is the issue? Are we talking about the lowering of the speed limit?
No, this is the one where we were talking about the signs for trucks, in the neighborhood over there by the police station where there was some trucks going down and they can't get around the roundabout.
You can't get back.
Right. Okay, they go beyond, if I remember correctly from past conversations, they go beyond the post office and they try to enter on Second.
They're on site.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was from Second or if it was on Aspen that they were going down.
Though they've had to back up the hill on Second before.
Okay, that was what I'm saying, okay, I just wasn't clear if it was on the Aspen Road that they were talking about or Second, so we were just talking about maybe doing a little field trip out there, just individually, and take a drive over and just see if it's marked well.
Would it be on, yeah, I don't think.
It has to be up by the post office.
Yeah,
Yeah, it does have no truck signs, but I don't recall if they're on Second. I know they're on Cedar. I'd have to go back and buy it myself, but I do remember, I used to live in those townhouses on Third, so I've seen it before. And they come, it's trucks coming off of 99 and then they try to go down Second into the neighborhood instead of turning.
Okay, all right, so if we can all just maybe, when you have a chance before the next meeting, take a drive over there and take a look, that would be great. And then the other old business was, Gene Jameson was concerned about the speed on Ivy. We know we're a ways out on that, right?
Yeah, I think you said summertime
Summertime.
likely.
Hopefully we can get something back, around this summer for officially being able to lower that speed. We've made the request.
Lower the speed limit or?
Lower the speed limit
Raleigh and Ivy?
from Ivy, from 13th to Goods Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So right now that speed, progresses from 13th to the bridge. I mean, it's the bridge here. Should be, I think it's 45 or 55. I think it's, but most people, once you get to Hope Village, that's where they start just.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but our neighbors have been here a couple of times with documentation, with complaints, with issues. The speeders, the old guy that was here, morning, he said he has to walk across the street, he has to dodge.
So that's on North Holly.
That's north.
And,
Yeah, this is south.
this committee had made a motion for putting, speed feedback signs up. I just have to budget for it.
All right,
Specific to Ivy, she also had concerns when you are heading into town, so
Yeah.
north on Ivy, that when you're on the bridge, there isn't really great notice about the fact that the speed is going to greatly decrease. So that was something that's on
Yeah.
the list. And then there was the question of crosswalks, right, at both, or was it 15th and 16th, 18th?
Yeah.
18th and
And
16th potentially?
16th, yeah.
And did we come to an agreement on that recommendation?
Not necessarily at the moment. Still trying to figure out what the best way on if it's doing a single mid-block crossing. For example, is with South Ivy being completely redone. A lot of the crosswalks were not legal when they were put in way back when because they weren't going anywhere.
Sure.
And then with the county engineers and the consulting firm that came through, they were a little bit more strict on where enhanced crosswalks get put in, because technically, if every intersection is a crosswalk, and so an enhanced crosswalk has to warrant enough people trying to cross there or enough traffic before it gets striped. So we are working on doing a pedestrian study to see which of the intersections would warrant a enhanced crosswalk. I'm pushing for one at Third, where all high schoolers cross Ivy,
Yeah.
and then doing something at Township, because until the traffic warrants to turn that into a full-on signalized intersection, there's no push button crossings for any of the pedestrians, which we had there before, so they are working on doing that, I think, in March.
And would they be looking further south on Ivy as well?
We weren't planning on anything past 13th. Right now, that was just kind of that main corridor for there.
Do we need them to review 16th
I
and
can-
15th, or is that something we can move
We're
forward?
working through the county's contract instead of the city's contract, so it might be tricky, but I might see if I can get them to look at those intersections as well, because of how those are offset, trying to build a safe crosswalk for people.
Yeah, like I would be interested in their thoughts just on a design kind of level, but I'd be a little bit worried if they'd say, oh, there's not enough people. And we don't wanna leave the people
Right.
down there stranded.
so these are probably the same consultants that did the crosswalk at Art Road and
No.
No, so see, so we're just kicking a can down the street is what we're doing here. I mean, you have consultants that have these great ideas, but in applications, they're worthless. I mean, I'm using that as an example. They have crosswalks, they have cross signs, who crosses there?
I don't know.
No, All right, go ahead, 'cause I take it very personal.
Add two things to the mix. It's my understanding, Counselor Hensley, you can chime in on this, and Brianna as well. It sounds like the old senior center and the swimming center are gonna likely undergo some changes, and as that takes place, that'll undoubtedly involve a traffic study. That's one issue. Then Tom had brought up an issue, I think, around Lee School related to stacking issues when cars picking up
Yeah.
and dropping off students. Could you both touch on that?
What I know is I have spoken just within the last few days to a couple folks from the adult center. They are at least a year away from moving into their facility. And we do have, we're in talks, I should say, with the school district. We're gonna do a famous field trip like Clint likes to go on. We're gonna do a field trip over to perhaps Sherwood and another site to look at YMCA type facilities and talk to stakeholders and the people who made it happen to find out what they did to make it happen. So we're ways off from anything actually happening at that corner. It's all a discussion point at this point, unless Brianna knows something I don't.
Nope, you got it. I did just want to clarify that we're talking about sort of the city/school property and not the memory care corner.
Right.
Yeah, so there hasn't been movement on the memory care corner yet either, but I just wanted to clarify that we're talking about the school property here.
Yeah.
So Tracy, I know you had mentioned that you were talking with the school district about the traffic at Lee. Has there been any discussion, like we kind of suggested, maybe they could route them, put a roadway through kind of behind the swimming pool over by Ackerman and get the people off the road? Has that been brought up with them?
No, and thank you for the reminder. I did not bring that subject up. I did talk to them Monday evening. I went to the school board meeting because I'm the liaison there, and Jennifer put me in touch with the operations folks for the school district, and they are addressing the bus at the stop sign at Eccles. But I did forget about the Lee traffic. I will put that on my list, and I'll circle back to them on that one.
That would be great.
Thank you very much, and if I could add one thing, in your aquatic research, you might take a look at the Newburgh Aquatic Center, because it used to be a pretty good sized swimming pool. And they went through a few years ago and created a spectacular facility, and you can actually see an awful lot of it just going online and taking exploration of it. It's pretty impressive, but thanks for all you and everyone do for our city.
Okay, thank you, Clint. We'll put that on the list.
So for the speedy concerns on Ivy, will we circle back with the, Ms. Jameson that was concerned about it, let her know that it's in the works and we might have an update then?
Yeah, I think that she kind of knew that, but I can email her and let her know. It's just a matter of, she might have been here, wasn't she here last?
I don't think she was here at our last meeting, I think it was.
Yeah, okay.
And
Yeah,
I think she pretty much should know that, from our conversations, that, in the summertime was gonna be our hope for
yeah.
when those were gonna likely come down.
And I know that I see quite a bit of walking, people trying to cross down there at 16th and 18th. It's becoming more and more, it's not the time of year, but people are still out walking.
Yes.
And that's a very active area, and I think that we definitely need to make that.
It's getting more and more citizens over in that area. It's a natural place, both for the village people and the people in those newer homes. Just cross over and explore.
Well, because there's the emerald, what is that, emerald necklace or emerald
Yeah,
loop?
yeah,
That
right.
people from that neighborhood are trying to get over there and, yeah, so, okay.
By the way, Spencer, thank you very much for moving the school alert sign.
Yes.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I don't know how it moved, but.
I don't know how it moved
I don't either, I was just like,
Somebody's working in the middle of the night, I didn't let you know.
I think that was the school light fairies. No, it's visible and it's fantastic.
It may be
and
funny.
Yeah, I'm glad that happened. Okay, South End Road speed limit, I know that there's
Oh,
been
yeah.
a lot of work on that. and
I
I've
could
seen-
chime in on that one.
Yes.
I've been including you in the emails. It
Yes.
sounds like they're doing their review of that section of road. Trying to push them, but not too hard. And, so as we learn more, we'll let you all know.
Did you go to the meeting last night?
I did not.
And, Tracy, you were gonna talk to some local representatives from surrounding areas about South End a bit. Have you had a chance to connect with any of them?
I did. I've talked with the County Commissioner Paul Savas and also Mayor Hodson, who both have interactions with our Region 1 ODOT representative, Ryan, and they are going to talk to him. I did have a text message exchange with Commissioner Savas over the last week asking about the status of that conversation. And well, I kind of had to remind him what I was talking about. So he's asking me for a sketch of the area, which I am providing to him. And I don't know how often you all drive that area, but in my summation, the natural place to reduce the speed is just our side of Pearson's, that log place. Where there is currently a speed sign that says 55, I think that's the perfect, and it narrows down to 2 lanes there. So it's a perfect spot for it to change from 55 to 45. So I'm gonna send some documentation of maps and things to Commissioner Savas. And that way he'll have some documents in hand when he meets with the ODOT rep. So it's not done yet, but it is still work in progress. How's that?
Fantastic, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome, good work, guys. Okay, so the newer business was, we talked about the stop sign over at Eccles. Sounds like there's been some work on that, Tracy.
Well, that's where
Yes.
she brought the school district. about-
Yeah, so it's you said that you're talking to the school district on that. Are they open to the buses not parking right up close there?
They are. I talked with Superintendent Patterson, put me in touch with the operations people, and Shauna said that they would get on it. They're gonna paint the curb, probably not a full bus length, but at least a half a bus length. So that's like a car and a half. You know, I asked for a bus length. I'm getting a car and a half. So
Well, thank you very much.
Something's better than nothing,
Efforts
yeah.
on that,
Thank
yeah.
you. All right. And then Clint had made a motion for the digital speed signs on Holly near 10th. You're adding it to the budget cycle, so,
Good job.
and when does that budget cycle happen again?
We're gonna start working on preparing the budgets, I believe, here in a month. Budget committee typically happens, late April, early May, goes before council for adoption. And then, we would have that new budget in July.
Okay,
Super. Thanks.
it'll be there before we know it.
Yes, it will.
And if I could add one more thing, I ran into Matilda Dees at the Thriftway over the holidays, and again, thank her for her efforts in getting that grant for South ID, and shared, some of our challenges in traffic safety, how funding is always an issue, and she sounded eager to offer her assistance in grant writing if we ever want to pursue that.
Oh, that's great.
I'm sure compensation would need to be involved, but she's got skills.
Know that.
Can we get a grant to get a grant to pay her?
I will make a note of that, Clint. Thank you for that. I've been talking to Randy about whether or not we can get a grant writer on the docket, so I will keep her in mind.
Thanks.
That's great. All right. I guess we can go on to. Hi, sir.
Before I go over all this stuff, we got a couple complaints in the last couple weeks that were relevant. specifically now that you moved one school sign, the one on South Redwood, between Township and 8th. There's quite a bit of trees overhanging in front of the sign there, and you can't see it. And that one's a little tougher to see anyway, just 'cause it doesn't have flashing yellow light. So probably just some tree trimming stuff for that one. And then we got an online complaint through our new online reporting system from someone at 629 South Redwood. Same spot, roughly. He was just making mention that there aren't, he claims, any speed signs on that road, which there's the school zone sign, but that's obviously for only in school hours. And so he was saying they regularly see people going over 40 through there. That kind of made it a point to spend some time over there. I didn't see that be as much of an issue, but just let you know. December, let's see, we had 199 total citations, so about within average. 9 DUI arrests. We had 11 traffic-related crimes, which most of those are typically criminal driving while suspended if it's not a DUI. And we had 11 traffic complaints. Every month throughout the year, each municipality within Clackamas County hosts the interagency traffic commission, which is just the officers from every municipality's traffic division comes and works in a specific city. December was Canby's month, so we had probably about between 12 and 15 people working on the 13th here from all over the county, which was good. We did a distracted driving enforcement mission, so focus on cell phones and speeding and red lights and things like that. A couple of the guys had a lot of success at Redwood and 99. Quite a few there, which I sent an email out a couple weeks ago letting people know if they've got free time to try and hang out over there. So
Awesome.
nothing super out of the ordinary. We are planning, we noticed this last year that we had around Hairfest, we had a lot of issues with DUIs that week, as we usually do. So we're gonna plan a DUI enforcement mission for the week of Hairfest. I know it's still a ways out, but we're working on that. That's about it. That's all I got.
Can I ask, thank you very much for all you and your team do, by the way.
Yes.
Any further word on the new system?
It's up and running. It's been pretty smooth so far.
That's what I was gonna ask, is how you're liking it.
It's good. I think it's a learning curve for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit, I don't want to say intimidating, but for people that are trying to discern whether it's worth calling 911 or non-emergency, or whether they should go on there and file a report online. There's been some instances of people filing reports online that probably should have been something they called 911 for if it's something that needs immediate attention, and then vice versa. We're getting stuff where people are calling 911 to report something, and we have it in our policy where if somebody does call, we're not going to direct them to go online. It's our job to take the calls and respond to them and do what we can to help. So I think the longer it's out there, people will become more familiar with it. But so far it's been good. We've had no issues with it, and it's been helpful. For me, I've noticed it's been helpful because a lot of people have been able to send memos in there about traffic complaints that they have, as opposed to calling. And then sometimes it gets lost in the weeds if I'm not working or a traffic sergeant's not working. So it just makes it easier for us to track what's an issue and what's not.
Is there a public awareness program of any kind to let the public know that it's available?
I know our chief, I'm not sure, Tracy, if Tro had talked to you about it, but I know he had mentioned maybe wanting to bring it up at one of the city council meetings, just to let them know that that's another option that people have. We did make a couple posts about it on our social media, which we got some feedback from it. And then there's also a link to it on the Canby Police website that makes it pretty obvious that it's an option now. But nothing as far as, were you just talking about, like, what were you asking specifically for?
Well, just I thought, in terms of reaching audiences, the adult community center, a presentation there perhaps something at Coast Village.
We've talked about,
Where you're getting 100 or more people
we have talked about that specifically about the adult center. We've also talked about doing the Kiwanis as well, just because they get a lot of community support there. So I think initially they wanted the rollout of it to be slower, just so that everybody could get adjusted to it a little bit, just because we knew there was gonna be a learning curve. But now that it's been out for a while, I think that we can start to do those kind of things. So
That was the purpose of my question. was,
Yeah.
Do we have enough experience with it now?
I think so.
Feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Chamber
So
would be another good one.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll bring that up in our briefing today and see if we can.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how's Sugar doing?
She's great. Yeah, she's
She
doing
came to
great.
Vote Village for cookies and Santa.
Did she?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think she's finally adjusted, no, she's not leaving, and that's her home now, so she's good. Yeah, she's
that, who's Sugar?
She's our new Comfort Canine.
Oh, neat.
So there's a organization called Working Dogs America that Working Dogs of Oregon, excuse me. Most comfort dogs or emotional support dogs are raised from puppies to do that, but this particular organization, they use rescue dogs and find ones that are suitable and have good temperament for that kind of thing, and they go through a lot of training for it. So she was actually donated to our police department by them. So we take her to interviews with victims of domestic violence, and we use her at the school resource officers quite a bit, community events and things like that. So just for some people, it makes it easier to talk to us if they have a cute dog, sit there and pet while they're doing it. So
Is she a German Shepherd?
no, she's a yellow lab. So
Okay.
she's just a good puppy dog. She's not a,
She's very cute.
Yeah.
She's
She
the
was a little
sweetest.
bashful.
She
She was
is.
a little bashful in the bigger crowds, so coming to Oak Village was good because it wasn't super busy and, people coming at her, so we welcome her back anytime.
good. That's all Stephanie.
What's her name?
Sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Does she get along with the canine dog?
I don't know. I don't think we ever will. I think so. Pretty dark. Patrol canine. He's
Pretty intense.
he's a goofball when he's not working. He just acts like a dog most of the other time, but he's a lot bigger than her and doesn't get a lot of socializing with other dogs. So they've got their own jobs. So they kind of stay separate. So
I did see you over there on Ivy Street behind your building the other day, so,
Sugar.
no, you,
Oh, me.
yeah, you were in your little,
Yep.
Back there.
your little
Where was
spot.
that, did you see there? I mean, I spotted you too.
I saw you. I didn't think you saw me. That's funny.
I saw you.
That stop sign, I can see people run that stop sign all the time because they'll try and get the light.
Yeah.
Ivy, make the left turn, and then that's, I don't wanna say a good spot, 'cause it's not good, but cell phones.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, yeah.
and usually it's people on their cell phones that then also run the stop sign at the same time, so.
So where do you pull them over? Do you have to go across the tracks in?
Yeah, I usually try and time it so that I'm not going up the light there or getting stuck on the tracks, which people like to stop on the tracks. Yeah.
Well, thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Spencer,
Since we've met, we had all the flooding and windstorms that the guys were out working on, that has shown us a couple of places that we might need to make some future improvements if we're going to continue to have major flooding like that or rainfall like that. The park guys are doing a good job of cleaning up everything after those storms.
You guys were on it. Yeah, like all of it.
It was a long night. I ended up having to stay the one night till I think it was about 2:00 one night that most of the crews were still here. And then they all showed up at 6 the next morning for the regular shift, so.
wow, way to go.
Yeah, a lot of respect for those guys that were doing that. Other than that, the city is gonna be looking for the new public works director here shortly. I don't know if everybody knows, but Jerry has moved on to the city of Silverton.
Oh,
Is that close to home for him?
It is a little closer to home for
did
him,
not
so.
know. Is he
yeah.
already gone?
He is, yes, or Monday this week was his
Oh,
first day.
that's too
So,
bad. Any chance for Spencer to win that role?
Spencer.
Okay, sorry, put you on the spot.
So,
Cards are close to his chest.
but yeah, so it was, lost 21 years of experience,
Wow,
so.
That's a lot, yeah.
But
wishing well, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Lou. Yeah.
What else has really been going on? Walnut Street, we have the bid opening, for hopefully being able to select a contractor for that the end of next week.
Oh, nice.
So scheduling, if we obtain our permits from ODOT and everybody else, we're hoping for an April start time. What else we have going at the moment? I think those are kind of the waves on it. So, any other questions?
Yeah, so, we were going to see if maybe we could get the engineering group to review the turn radius off of and onto 99 for semi trucks. Is that still on our list somewhere?
Probably still on the list somewhere, and trying to get ODOT. So one of the biggest hangups with our permits for Walnut Street, just a side tangent, we have submitted for the 5th time plans. Each time they keep coming back with comments. The last time that we submitted, on the north side of the intersection, they are requiring a 10x10 turning radius for a future bike path to continue north on 99. We currently only have 9.5 feet of easement. The requirement or the regulations say that you have to have from an 8 to a 10-foot area. We have a 9.5-foot area, but they are saying that no, that is not okay. You need it to be 10. So we are going back and forth with them on 6 inches, or having to go and get more property from the property owner. So this is kind of, and this has been going on for 4 years now. So
And it's kind of strange too, because it doesn't seem like we would necessarily want to encourage people to use 99.
seems how there's a giant ravine once you get past or further north of where the road is going.
They're wanting to add a bike lane or like a whole separate bike path
A
along?
whole nother bike path.
Okay.
Up to, and then continue on, and I don't know where you would go past Territorial, because right now Foursquare Church kind of has all the right of way that is there, and then once you get past them, then you have a giant rock face that doesn't go anywhere. So these are the kind of the struggles that we're dealing with ODOT, and the county is similar but not quite as strict. So as far as trying to get ODOT to relook at the intersection that they just built,
There are
they're
so
going
many
through the
more
funding.
pressing things.
I I will make a request, but I will not hold my breath on that.
Yeah, because the other thing that I had was also 99, just our mysterious floating pedestrian island in the middle of 99 at Jupiter, or Juniper rather. The why.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah, but, I don't know, maybe it's just a knee-jerk reaction from me, but like at some point, because with Walnut Street specifically, this has been going on for like 4 years and we've had so many iterations, you know, is there some point where the city threatens some kind of legal action for jerking us around for so long and all the money spent and all the, you know, investment of companies coming into Canby with the expectation that this thing's gonna happen this century?
Tracy, you wanna field that one?
ODOT is it's a boondoggle in of itself. I'm taking notes of what your requests are. I can't promise anything because it's a bigger animal than we can deal with. The ODOT and the railroad, they kind of have their own rules that we have to bow to. And I see Brianna nodding.
Well, not only is it their facility, that's how they consider the road is their facility, they're also the governing agency on how we design and build our facilities, so they're kind of the top people. And
Yeah, no, I get that, like, they dictate the rules, but it's a moving target. There has to be at some point where there's a commitment to drawing a line in the sand that it's whatever the standard was at this date. So, you know, like, we're going to like just be done instead of keep going back. Because we're about to have like 300 more semis coming in and out of the industrial park there. And every place they could go is a failed intersection. So, I mean, 99 is gonna be more dangerous just because there's more semis, and then getting on and off, there's no good alternative, so I'm just.
And
really
that's
concerned
300
from that
without that
perspective.
newest big massive facility.
That's what I'm talking about, the distribution center for OLCC.
Oh, I'm saying about the newest one that they're working on, not counting.
And yeah, when that one gets
That's-
rented or
that's
sold
even
or
more
whatever,
dangerous.
then it will, yes, be even more.
Okay.
But we have this imminent, in a couple months, OLCC will be up and running, and they've got they thought that they were gonna do it in this fall. Tracy, is that behind now? Are they waiting for us?
The OLCC distribution center? That's a
Yeah.
better question. That's a better question for Brianna. I don't know what
Okay.
their timeline is.
I haven't heard any changes to it, so I would assume it's still the fall.
Okay, their original plan was September.
Mhm.
Up and running.
So it sounds like it's still on timeline then. I can bring this to Commissioner Savas as well, since he does have the ear of our Region 1 ODOT person. So I want to understand, Jenny, your specific request. You want attention drawn to the fact that we're going to have more semis. And so you're worried about the failed intersections, specifically the Sequoia Parkway and now the impending Walnut.
So, if Walnut doesn't exist, then they're
Right.
either coming off of Sequoia Parkway, or they're coming off of, it's not New Era, Haynes, possibly New Era. Like Haynes is a failed intersection, and it's a way we don't want the truck traffic coming in and out.
Right.
But that's going to be the route that a lot of trucks take, because that's the easiest way in and out for them, depending on where they're coming from and where they're going. And then Sequoia Parkway's got its own issues, that even if we were successful in routing the truck traffic there, that creates a heck of a backup when you've got a couple hundred semis coming and going throughout, because, and it really is front loaded primarily kind of earlier in the day. Like, I think they said that around 7:30 is when a lot of them start to roll out. So if they're rolling out in the morning between 7 and 8-ish, which is like adding to peak traffic on 99, and they're coming back in the neighborhood of like 3:30 to 5, peak traffic on 99, then we've got already failed intersections that have a boatload more semis, and a lot of semi drivers who are then going to start becoming familiar with alternative routes, relying on alternative routes, and being even more resistant to using the dedicated route of Walnut when someday it's finally up and running.
Well, and then depending on where they're coming out of in that industrial park, they're gonna come down 13th to Bird Parkway, which
Well,
is
get
another failed intersection,
Yeah,
which is that whole Safeway, Dutch Bros.
they go a little bit too far and try and take Pine, which is a
Yes.
failed intersection. Like, basically, all of Canopy has failed intersections, and none of them are well suited to semi trucks. Like, cause again, getting on and off 99 in all these different places. So I'm really concerned about this big influx of trucks that are gonna be, not having this dedicated route that everybody really thought it was gonna be up and running darn close to when the distribution center was up. And I mean, we'll be really lucky if we've got permits in April. So, I mean, it's gonna take some time. Like, in an ideal world, how long, Spencer, would it take to build that road?
The road from Walnut, or from First Avenue up to the highway is
Just
a
construction,
couple months,
couple months, okay.
nothing long there. The tricky part is going to be the signalized intersection at 99.
Getting that up and running.
You do like char bubbles when the road folks come in at that point?
Yeah.
Because you already have utilities in there now, there's something that.
We do have our sewer board in underneath the highway to Jarbo's and then running down 99. But we've been stalled out by the railroad on our connecting point. That one's been, they're arguing, that one we're arguing over 2 feet instead of 6 inches.
Okay.
So that one's,
Yeah,
but that one's been going on for, I think, 4 months now, is going back and forth with the railroad.
yeah, cause it's like, the moving target of now you need 6 inches more of right of way from everybody now in January of 2026, when this has been going on for years and years and years, like that's, I guess, the number one thing I'd push back on as like a sticking point that would be an immovable thing for us to be able to successfully put the road in. Because at that point, we're sunk. I mean, we can't even get a tiny little bit of leeway for sidewalks on major roads. Like, I feel like that would really hold things up a lot. And Tracy, if you are going to be talking to Ryan or Paul or whomever, the other thing that kind of ties into my concern on semis, it's a little bit beyond us, but the stretch of 99 between South End and Oregon City, when it rains hard, the water comes off of the rock side really, really heavy. Like people are, it's super dangerous. Like people are hydroplaning all over the place. And especially for the people who are, can be bound from Oregon City, like it's really scary to see people like not realize that they're not gonna have any traction and kind of fishtail where they're like so close to falling off a cliff. So it just seems like your average driver's awareness of just how much water there is and how much that's impacting them being able to safely drive that stretch is severely lacking. And then people always get really impatient around semi trucks. And I have a concern that, you know, we've been getting heavier storms and I don't anticipate that that's gonna get any better as time goes on. Then you've got impatient drivers trying to go around semi trucks where there's lots of places to hydroplane. And I'm just like, every time I drive that stretch a fair bit. And every time I'm on it and it's raining, even from, I'd say from medium heavy to like actually heavy, it's dangerous. And I really have concerns about increased traffic for any reason on that stretch. If they're coming off of 205, they end up, what's it called, tolling that, or then there'll be semis that are gonna be coming in with the distribution center. So that's my soapbox, thank you.
The other thing is that the rocks come down off there, if you're going north, and I get through that lane, even though people want to pass, I don't want to, you know, all of a sudden there's rocks down the roadway.
Well, the other thing is, if you're going from Canby to Oregon City, although you're not likely to hydroplane off of the side of the road, people are hydroplaning in those lanes too, and there's a lot of curves. Like, it's a windy road in that stretch. So when people are on a curve, kind of like an outward curve, and then they lose traction, then they're moving into another lane that's also on a curve. And it's all just very concerning.
Well, along with that, with the icier weather, that's, you know, the colder weather.
Oh, yeah,
that's
it freezes.
I mean, I've noticed some posts on there of, you know, those water spots being just a sheet of ice, so.
Yes. Yeah, thanks, Tracy.
Okay, Jenny, to be specific, you're talking northbound of South End? On
Yes,
the rock wall side of the highway?
It is on all of the high, Clint was talking about the rock side. I would say it goes all the way across 99 in the stretch between South End and Oregon City. There are multiple instances where there's really heavy water flow across all 4 lanes of traffic. And there are some that are in the curvy areas in particular of that stretch that are most concerning because people are already on a curve and then they lose traction.
Especially as you're heading into Kanema going north.
Okay. I will reserve the right to circle back and question you more offline about this if I need to, but I'm adding it to my list.
Brianna?
Yeah, I have no huge projects. I think probably the most pertinent one is a 7-unit condo on 3rd, so just south of the fairgrounds. They did a traffic study. We're not too concerned about them. Memory care, I did misspeak just a little bit in that they are pursuing a traffic study. So again, it hasn't been complete. It's not being pushed through the process yet, but they are under the traffic study right now. And we estimated that would come in this week. It might be next week at this point, we'll see. But yeah, if that goes forward, I will definitely let you guys know. We made an offer for a new associate planner. We've been down a planner for a few months now. His name is Maxwell. So he doesn't have a start date yet, but he has accepted. So that'll be good to have another another planner on the team. It's just been me mostly. Let's see. There was a last thing. What was it? It's not coming to me. Oh, the ramp, I don't know if we're calling it a ramp or to the logging trail off of 99E near Fred Meyer. We talked about it last meeting as well, but I heard that there's going to be perhaps like a ribbon cutting or an opening for that. Spencer, have you heard anything about that?
The city administrator just asked me about it. I'm working on finishing up getting the lights wired in and heated up from my electrician decided to take the majority of December off. So he's just getting back to work. But yeah, I'm thinking here in the next week or two, the lights will be on.
Yeah, and folks are already using it, so that's great. But yeah, it'll be nice to have the lighting and the planting in, and yeah, if we have an update about that little ceremony, we can definitely let you guys know. I know Bike and Ped are also really excited about that. So that is it from me.
Brenna, is there anything happening with the auto place that's right over there on Pine that they moved out and Automax? What's going on with that situation?
We haven't heard anything. I don't know if it doesn't seem like they're eager to necessarily get somebody in there or not. Yeah, haven't heard anything about that.
Because weren't we talking about that we would need some of that land in order to reroute that intersection?
Spencer shaking his head.
Yes, we're working on negotiating with the current owners.
Oh, okay.
So,
I was
too
just
far
asking.
into those weeks.
Just
Yeah.
asking the wrong person.
Well, behind the scenes, yeah. I don't hear about it until that piece is taken care of, and then you guys come to land use. So, but.
Okay, did that business relocate somewhere in our community?
They are just outside city of Canby, but they are still close by. They're off of what? Spencer? Barlow? All right.
So
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think that's where.
Okay, well, good deal.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Tracy?
Thank you. I think I've pretty much covered all of my updates, sprinkled in throughout the meeting. But I do have a question for the good officer if he's still in the room.
He is.
Okay. And Tina, you may have observed this as well, being that you're basically my neighbor. On 99E again, we're having to talk about ODOT issues. There is at Redwood, we have a light, and we're sitting at the left turn light, but at that little baby meridian, that's a 1 car length back or so from the light, there is a sign that says no U-turns.
Yes.
I personally witness probably a half a dozen U-turns a week. And if I'm seeing that many, I know there's many more than that happening. So what could be done is my question. Maybe this is a question for Spencer. What can be done about moving that sign from the post on the meridian to actually being hanging on the light at the left turn light that says no turn, that could say no U-turn there? And then my question for the officer is, why isn't anybody there enforcing that? Because I'm seeing a lot of tickets that could happen each week.
I write a handful of tickets for that exact reason at that exact intersection every week. So I do sit there. It's just that intersection in particular is hard for me to sit somewhere that I am not
Obviously there.
In which case everybody drives like a perfect angel, not that
Right.
I'm out there to try and trap people or anything like that. But it does seem to be the case that when I get complaints and I sit somewhere that I don't observe any of those because they observe me. But I can send out an email, make that more of a focus to just general patrol and not just me, since I can't be everywhere at once. But just to reassure you, I do know that's a problem, because I sit there and I see it happen. I've seen it happen with people that are directly in front of me or behind me, and a lot of them say that they see the sign, but they thought that it was safe, so it was okay.
Are you saying they're U-turning on 99E, or are they U-turning off of Redwood?
If you're going north on 99.
In the,
Yeah, oh,
yeah,
I
in the
know.
left,
Yes, that's been yes, I've seen that, yes.
And let alone, I mean, if you're looking at that lane when you're in the left turn lane, most people, I would assume, would realize that you probably don't have room to make that U-turn without driving all the way onto the shoulder anyway, but people do it anyway.
Yeah, no, it's,
So,
I just don't ever remember seeing anybody U-turn on 99E, and I've seen it at several intersections more recently, and I'm just like, what is happening?
well, I don't understand why it's so frequent right there, because it's not like they're gonna make a U-turn and make a right turn off of the road immediately, you know, there's nothing there until you get to Pine, so. But I'll add that to my list, Trixie.
yeah, it's like they get there and think, oh no, I don't want to leave Canby. No, I'm just kidding. But that, because I don't know why they do it, but I see it so often. So I think a simple fix, but nothing with ODOT is simple. But the simple fix would be moving the sign to having it on the light rail, so that it's right there next to the left turn signal, and it says no U-turn. Instead of being a car length back where they've obviously forgotten they saw the sign when they pulled up to the line.
Tracy, do you think people read signs? Not anymore.
Well, there is that too, Tom. There, you make a good point.
We could save so much money.
The truck route side of Ivy is really nice. Come Ivy, turn right, you know.
I've actually noticed that that's been a lot better the
Oh my gosh.
last couple weeks, months or so, that they're actually using the truck route, which is great, so nobody taking out the glass business there at the corner anymore, so that's good.
All right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything else unless somebody has questions for me.
Thank you. Thank you.
If I could ask one question, sorry. Tracy, since it's the first meeting of the new year, should we schedule it for next meeting where we review any changes to the assignments for the board member, or the traffic safety members?
Yeah, that normally is on the agenda for the January meeting, and I will accept responsibility for that, seeing that Tina is a newer chair and I did not communicate that to her. And I'll take that as my responsibility. If you are desiring a change in your leadership, then you can do so by electing a new chair. I would just suggest putting it on the agenda for the February meeting. You can, of course, keep Tina as the chair if that's what you desire, but typically, historically, we have done annual elections for that. So thank you, Clint, for the reminder.
I would just recommend putting it on the agenda. I think you're doing a beautiful job, but kind of growing ready to it's on the minutes. The minutes take hours to do the minutes. And I'd like someone else to have this option.
Perfect. I will put it on the agenda for next month. All right. All right. Yeah.
Okay. The only things that I've noticed are, Berg Parkway and 99, there's been a couple accidents. And I think like what Tina mentioned last meeting, it'd be nice if we could make a turn lane at Berg Parkway to get onto 99, because it's just a nightmare. I know rush hour when I'm coming home, there's a lot of traffic coming out of Dutch Brothers, going across from Safeway, people trying to walk across too, and just it'd be nice to have that intersection be more safe. I know the one day when I was leaving for work, I was like shocked at the accident that happened, but it was like, oh, the person didn't realize they were supposed to yield or something. And then at night it happened again where someone didn't realize they were supposed to yield. I'm like, how do you not know to watch? But everyone's in a hurry.
Anything else?
No.
Gary,
I do. Well, we've already established that people don't see signs.
I think they see them, they just don't care. I think that's what it
Either
is.
don't care or
Yeah, they don't
have
care.
literacy issues.
And every time, all right, I'm sympathetic to the people that live on Holly and Ivy, that's my neighborhood. But we've had these people come in here and voice their opinion and their frustration, speeders on Holly and Ivy. Okay, fine. I suggested a long time ago, raise the speed limit, they're gonna do it anyway, but of course, it didn't go over. We dropped the ball on law enforcement, dropped the ball on Spencer. Why don't you guys get out there and do this and do that? Put up a sign, put up speed bump, put up, on and on and on. And nothing is done. That's where I referred to kicking the can down the street. Okay, bureaucratic nonsense stumbles, gets in everybody's way. I think in simple terms. I'm not a cowboy, but when they say get her done, there's a reason for that. Get her done. Candy Graphics will put out 30 speed limit signs for $720. Nice aluminum, 18 by 14. Now, I know this is gonna step on some toes because there's 17 poles on Ivy and 13 poles on Holly between 5th and 13th. Because after 13, they're metal poles. Poles I'm talking about are the wooden ones. Those are PGE, old company.
I can't remember if those ones are PGE or Canby Utility.
Oh, find out.
Well, so you're not gonna like this answer. I'm sorry. The State Utility Commission, the PUC, does not allow any signs on poles
Why?
because it is a hazard for the linemen that may have to climb the pole.
Oh, that makes sense.
Well.
Trust me,
How about the PR on that? They want the city, they want the speeders to go blowing by because they ignore all the speed limit signs. As I always thought, to put them up about 12 feet. I was doing my math on that. Damn. Okay, well, I find it hard to accept.
no, I agree, but I
thought,
may or may not have been disciplined at one point in time here for putting up a sign on a pole when I just wanted to do something different.
especially a sign, the PR would be great because they say, well, you're breaking the law, but you're allowing the speeders. Oh, Spencer.
Sorry, sorry.
When did you turn into the man?
Okay, well, it was, I was kicking around, like I said,
Yeah.
there's
well,
30 signs available that could be put up on every other pole. And here's how the poles are only on the west side of each street, you have to have a sign on the other side. All right.
thank you for doing the legwork and
What
would it cost to have them make some stencils so we could paint it on the roadway?
Well, and they're, they go by the 25-mile-per-hour sign anyway, they ignore that.
I think they'd ignore the stencils. Look at Hope Village, we put signs and this and that, and they still speed. So then I
Speed bumps work, though.
issue speeding tickets.
We put
on
in speed bumps.
campus.
But just to explore that for a second, what are the rules about painting speed off the road? Because I mean, there are jurisdictions that do that, so I assume it's allowable.
I think we still have the stencils for 25 miles per hour. I can't remember exactly who it came down from, but it was requested to not do that anymore. It can't be. That came from me, so I don't know where that came from.
Maybe that person's no longer.
I was gonna say, do you have a
That's
time
changing of the
frame for that?
guards.
That was not from Jerry, but I don't know where that was that came down, so.
Do you remember approximately when that came down?
Probably, when was the last time we did those? We did them on a couple of, neighborhood streets, and something like that on a major collector, like Holly. I think we did actually do it on Holly. and we're off very quickly.
I think the argument the neighbors have is that they don't want the signs in their yard. But they want, could we do that? Could we put it on private property if they agree and say, okay, we'll have a sign in our yard? You know, should do it around, outdoors.
My mom has one in her yard.
Does she?
Yeah, you guys need to put one on
Yeah,
my
my
street,
center
put it in
one
my
on
yard,
her
I don't
center.
care. Like, I care more about the cars than I do mine.
I might just pursue that. Anybody opposed to me going out there knocking on doors and asking if they might have a 25-mile-an-hour sign in there?
And then does it have to like clear certain rules about?
It would have to be a certain size sign and the right design on the sign itself. Not saying that signs and graphics can't make it to the right specs, but it would have to be those specs.
But then the poles need to be installed a certain distance from
Yep.
the
Yeah.
road.
Okay.
And so would they be installing the private sign to the specs that are provided to them and they're wholly responsible for installing them? Or
Well, so
would they
then,
be funded?
we start getting down a real long rabbit hole of what would be enforceable if it's a private sign or if it's a city sign. So maybe let's talk offline before we get too far down.
Okay.
Tom has something to say.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me correctly, the Uniform Traffic Control Manual does not necessarily stipulate the size of the signs that are required.
It does.
It does?
Yep.
We cannot put a larger sign. The reason I'm asking is the improvements that they made on South End approaching 99 recently with the huge curve arrows, just an overabundance of signage in a large format sign. Sometimes people are able to notice a sign that has been changed to something a bit larger. And I didn't know if that is something that we're able to do. And it's been so long since I've gone through the manual that I didn't remember
Yeah.
what restrictions are there as far as signs and the size of them in. It has to do with the roadway width, doesn't it? And that is a wide road.
It has to do with, I don't know if it has necessarily to do with the width as much as it does the speed.
Okay.
It might have something to do with the width as far as how far
Let's
off.
look into it and see if we can put larger signs that perhaps aren't part of the normal routine that they're looking at as they're speeding past.
Bigger and newer, I mean, because the other thing is when you do get to put a newer one up, the reflection is considerably improved for a chunk of time before they start to age and get less reflective.
And there again, you can go to high intensity instead of engineer grade at an additional expense. But maybe it's worth it, I don't know. How much of it is happening at night or early morning hours, like this morning. You know, I've got high intensity on the back of my car. Great in the fog, it's the only thing you can see in the fog.
I think
You can't see
particularly
lights.
for Holly's issues, where they have a lot of people in the early morning hours and then kind of in the evening, I think that their issue specifically, I think having the high vis signs could be beneficial because when we were looking at the peak of when these accidents happen, there are some that happen just in the middle of the day, but they did seem to have more early morning and evenings where it would be dark out.
Chair Shamfik, forgive the interruption. I, for the life of me, cannot find a hand raise icon to click. So, Spencer, can you remember, didn't the speed sign on Knightsbridge Road as you're coming into town, just past the bridge, didn't that get increased to a bigger size? If I remember correctly, the judge was not liking the fact that we had a lot of speeding tickets, and he kind of inquired about increasing the visibility of that sign. And this was a number of years ago. That's why I'm asking Spencer if he remembers. It was probably 10 years ago now. Do you remember
I-
this?
I do not remember, and that probably, if it was 10 years ago, it probably would have been me to go change out a sign. And I don't recall going and changing for a bigger sign.
That's a small sign right now.
So is there a range of sizes that's available to us, or is it specific?
There are guidelines from the MUTCD that say what size of signs you should be using in what areas. And the biggest concern of this, it would be, you know, if we're focusing on Holly Street and we go and put 30 signs up on Holly that are oversized signs. First off is, yes, they're noticeable for the first week or two that people drive, and then it becomes background noise and nobody pays attention to it. And then the second effect is that when you're driving on Ivy Street that wouldn't have all of those signs considerably, then people are less likely to drive the speed limit on other streets. So I understand the need of trying to lower the speed on Holly, but we have to be realistic on what we're trying to do, that it doesn't create issues everywhere else in the street. That's why we have, that's the whole point of the MUTCD, is to make sure that everything across the roads are uniform, so that when you're driving not only on Holly Street, but also on Ivy or in downtown Portland or in Newburgh or in Indiana, that you have the same standards and people are expected to follow those standards. I have not figured out how to make people follow the standards.
Maybe having the standards is the problem, is because everything's the same, so it all is just a blur, and if it was different places, maybe it would pop and people would be like,
I mean,
oh.
we all do talk about the ones that we see that
Yes.
are kind of outside,
Uh-huh.
right, because those are the ones that stand out. Like
Yes.
some places have like the little square 25s, and then some people have like one for the size of the table, you know, it's just, yeah.
Well, and also to Spencer's point earlier, he said something about private signs being enforced. And I was told, excuse me, by somebody in the police department that they cannot enforce privatized signs. The example given was the no parking signs on people's property on Cedar and on Knott on the north side of town. They have no parking signs. They're not enforceable unless they're city sanctioned signs, if you will.
That's true. It's just like,
However,
This is just
speed sign,
amplifying
it's
an
just,
existing
it is
thing.
the speed limit, so even if they saw the one that was on private property, the speed limit is 25, so it would be.
They're not trying
should
to
be
enforce a rule that's
enforceable,
not already on the books, it's just amplifying the existing state.
I could see somebody making the argument in court that the sign that they saw was not the sign on public right of ways. I'm just playing devil's
Yeah,
advocate.
I would
This is
agree.
the argument that people make.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. at
Okay,
all.
Clint,
Actually, I don't have a report this time, other than to tell you that I'm working on the South End Road to 99 intersection. And we'll report back as soon as I get word, and I'm including Tina in on those.
perfect.
Jenny. So we've got the pile of stuff at the corner of Southwest Grant and Southwest Third. I've seen somebody going into the trucks and unloading stuff out of them. It is very slowly, kind of, sort of changing. I know that it's going through some kind of eviction process, and it'll probably be a while before it's actually resolved, but there's some tiny signs of movement, so I'll take it.
Good job.
And Jackie, I don't know if she ever came on, I don't think she did. Okay, Tom?
I know her
Yes.
work schedule has changed, so she may not be available right now.
Yeah, she was gonna try and jump on, she said, but I didn't see her, so.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom?
Last week, I noticed something that was a traffic safety issue that I think we can get involved in, but I don't have enough knowledge yet to understand totally. We have throughout the city of Canby a situation where motorists are having to dodge pedestrians who are walking in the roadway because sidewalks are inaccessible to them. I'm speaking specifically of individuals who have handicaps or perhaps using motorized scooters, wheelchairs, young mothers pushing baby carriages. When they cannot negotiate the sidewalks because the sidewalks are blocked, they have no alternative but to go out into the traffic lanes in order to get where they're going. So I went on to if you'll take one and hand them around, I went on to the website for Canby Disposal. And on their website, interestingly enough, they tell us specifically where they want us to place our trash cans. The incident that I saw was a trash pickup day on a roadway where half of the cans or bins were on the sidewalk. The other half were out where Canby Disposal wants them, in the roadway. Because half of them were on the sidewalks, people couldn't use the sidewalks. But then they couldn't use the street adequately either. They had to get out around the ones that were in the street, thereby causing a hazard, in my opinion, for the motorists who are trying to avoid hitting them. Is there a way that the city has that we can communicate this dialogue, this okay, I'm upset. What are the methods of communicating that we can get to our citizens and say, hey, we got a need here, please help us? I just don't think it's fair to the people who are already struggling to live their lives and the young children who have no way of getting around other than being pushed in a carriage to have to deal with these kinds of situations.
Well, this is good information because I didn't know this.
Yeah.
I've never seen this.
This is lovely too, because it's something that planning should be aware of, because when we have multifamily units, one of my concerns has been, where are these people gonna put their cans and where are the cars gonna go? I mean, this right here is a stretch of almost 20 feet. That does not exist in anything new. So there's an issue just kind of there as to how people are gonna get their trash. But to your point, I see people going onto the roads, not just because of like things are blocking them, but also in the older neighborhoods that might have sidewalks, because everything is so uneven. It's like you get a straight stretch and then you go down and you go up and you go down and up, and it's just it's quite the roller coaster.
Or
So
the raised.
they're raised, and then also kind of sometimes at wonky angles. And for anybody who might have kind of like balance and gait issues, if you are in something that's motorized, like it's not really particularly safe. Even
I
though
think
sidewalks
this would help. You know, it's not the cure-all, it's not going to avoid all of the issues. But if we were able to somehow educate our citizens about the proper placement and where the company who picks them up wants them to be.
Might be good for them to do some marketing on that as well, because it helps their drivers as well.
And then just a courtesy, it just stuns me sometimes when it's garbage day and people have their cans just jammed up. They make it really complicated for the Canby Disposal to pick up their cans and then park in crazy locations, and I mean, it forces them to have to get out of their truck, which prolongs their day. And
But something that this diagram doesn't really represent is the reality that most of us have more bins than this. We don't just have a trash can, we've got a recycling bin. I mean, instead of this leaf bag, we've got our refuse, but then a lot of people have the glass as well. And so if you're putting space between all of them, then you're kind of exponentially stretching this out, and nobody's got 35 feet to get to their trash cans.
Yeah, I know where I live on Redwood, off of Redwood, there's parking spots in front of our house, so you've got your driveway. I mean, so I would have to pull out, put them in front of my driveway and which I guess I could do.
There's also been something implemented where alley access. They want the people, they don't wanna go down alleys, the garbage trucks don't, they wanna come out on the street. There's one old lady who lives on, you know what I'm talking about, she's about 90 years old, she's still vibrant, but she can't roll her can out into the alley with some assistance, but yet I don't know if it's Kahoot, or who's doing this?
Can't be disclosed.
This can be disposed.
Okay, it's no longer part of it.
My question though was, how do we communicate? How do we get this information out so that people outside of this room can understand what is desired? Not everybody's going to comply, nobody complies with everything.
Tracy's got her hand up.
Hi, thank you. I was trying to figure out how to not interrupt. I would like to see the document that Tom is showing, and if I could figure out a way, I'll probably I have a meeting with Randy tomorrow. We may be able to put some kind of communication on this subject on
I
the
would
city
send an
website.
email to you today,
Thank you.
if that's all right with you.
Yes. I will put my email address in the chat, or you can just get it. You can just get it from Spencer. He has it.
Tracy, I just texted it to
I
you.
thought everybody had your email.
Maybe, I don't know. They don't seem to have my phone number.
Yeah, you should have it now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're next.
I next tonight, we covered everything that I mean, we looped around everybody, so perfect. Anything else?
Adjourning the meeting.
Meeting adjourned.
9:58 was.
All right, bye, everybody. Have a good day.
We're at 9:46.
Oh, 9:40, good job. Time to spare.
What do you know?
Oh, you wish Jerry well, gosh, we didn't even say goodbye.
Okay.
Was everybody here when that was announced?
Keep this around a little bit more.
Got
What
you.
did you tell everybody was here when that